Good afternoon and welcome to this week's version of the United Way Community Partners Spotlight. This afternoon we have Darby Bramble with us from the Helena Community Gardens, and she is going to chat with us about all things green and growing in our Helena short season that we have. We got to make things happen just as fast as we can. So we're excited to chat with her about that. Darby, tell us, just get us going. Tell us a little bit about the community gardens. Where are they? How do folks get involved?
Well, Jeff, you know, our growing season may be short, but it's pretty sweet, just like this town. It's short and sweet, but we've got a lot of big things going on in our Helena Community Gardens. We're a 501c3 that's a volunteer-driven organization. We actually oversee 10 different gardens across town.
Oh, wow.
We've got gardens that people have been growing things in since the early 60s, 1960s. But as a nonprofit, we've only been around for about 10 years. This is our 10-year anniversary.
Great.
And
Congratulations.
Our goal, thank you. It feels good. Actually, we've been building on such success the last few years. Mm-hmm. It seems like Helena's growing and changing, and we see a dynamic population that's really interested in learning how to grow their own food. And our mission is to give people the tools and resources and education on how to grow their own fruits and vegetables. But it's also getting people those resources and a place to grow. A lot of we've got urban deer in this town. Some of our homes might not just be set up to grow. Maybe there's shade involved. To have a community spot that you can share with a group of folks that will be master gardeners and some will be very beginners. We provide quality soil that's been amended over the years that has high nutrient value, and we basically give people, even starting with the seeds, the materials to grow their own food. It's really exciting about our organization too, is most gardeners love to share their produce. We have extra. We talked a little bit about your wife and her zucchini. Mm-hmm. It seems like gardeners, the big joke is we always have a zucchini to share.
That's right.
But more than that, we actually grow food specifically for our Helena Food Share. Mm-hmm. Every one of our gardens has a food share plot that's designated to grow vegetables that our friends at Food Share have requested. And so last year we donated over 11,000 pounds of food to Food Share.
That's a lot of food.
And I think it's just that great thing of community. It really starts from the ground up. And Helena Community Gardens, we may be small, but we are mighty. We're short and sweet too, just like our growing season. And we're really excited about growing this year in our 10th year.
Well, that's super. We're getting close to growing season. How do we kind of get started, or what do you do to ramp up? There's probably some prep work that needs to happen here soon. You
bet. Our 10 gardens, every one is a little different. It's really fun. I'd really urge folks to come out and visit one of our gardens. One of our goals as an organization is to have a garden accessible through walkability for everyone. So we've got them all throughout town, and even one in East Helena. So come out and visit these gardens. Each one is a little different. We have raised beds and in-ground beds, and I know that some of our returning gardeners, they're starting to claim their plots. We have people that have gardened with us for years and years and years, and they know exactly what to do. They're starting to peek at their garlic they planted last fall and looking for green shoots. So right now we're really in the planning process of getting our returning gardeners back, but on March 15th, that's when we open up our gardens for new gardeners.
Okay. And do folks do that online?
Yeah.
How do you do that?
Yeah, you can visit us at helenacommunitygardens.org, and that's a great place you can log in for new gardeners, and we have a list of our 10 gardens, and each garden plot it's priced out according to its square footage, and so people can sign up that way. They can sign up with what's close to work. We have a garden off Oaks that's right near the Capitol, and a lot of folks that work at the Capitol use that garden because they can take a walk at their lunch break, visit their plot, and then sort of get that outside time in the summer months, in the growing season, and then get back into the grind of their office. So some people grow not just near their home, but maybe another close to work. So on March 15th, new gardeners can come to our website, helenacommunitygardens.org, and they can sign up for their plots. And I mentioned that each plot, they're different sizes, different styles. Some of our beds are raised quite high, especially set up for people with accessibility. I'll tell you, it's so neat. That's one of our mission points, is to just make sure that anyone who wants to can garden. We have a garden at Covenant Garden. It's off Broadway across from St. Peter's. And it was such a neat thing to see a man who was visually impaired. We got him a bed that was right in front of the gate, so he could walk in through the gate, find a raised bed that was at waist high, and really do the gardening that it fueled his heart. He actually ended up donating many pounds to Food Share. So it made this accessible to him. We also have beds that are a little lower. We've had folks in mobility scooters be able to come and garden at our garden. So that's just really important. So if there's ever any questions, folks can email us at helenacommunitygardens@gmail.com with specific questions if they have specific needs to what might fit their lifestyle or what might work for accessibility for them. We also have, folks come in with their kids. And
I was going to say it'd be a great opportunity for children because obviously we know in today's society, we think fruit and vegetables come from the grocery store, you know, and so that opportunity for children to get involved in watching the seed grow and the whole piece, absolutely, a great family activity.
And, this cross-pollination that happens in a community garden, if you think about it, we have elders that grew up gardening, that are master gardeners themselves, that can meet young families, kids coming in excited, and without anything formal being set up, we see a great, I call it cross-pollination, just like the bees are pollinating our flowers. We see information being passed back and forth, and that's really the heart of community. I think we know we walk away from our gardens after having this interaction with a new friend or someone we've known for years. It provides great support, and it's amazing. Those people that have been through the gardens and been at a garden for years, they do develop relationships with people, just as they develop a relationship with their plot and keeping it, healthy and weeding it. We see a great sort of social connection, and it was especially neat to see during COVID. The high points when we weren't sure. You remember those days when we were wiping down our groceries. We always said that gardening never was closed. We could go out and keep our distance and be socially distanced and still have our connection with our neighbors and friends. Another one of our gardens is set up in partnership with St. Mary's Catholic community, and it's really lovely to see such a large, almost half of their garden is set up to raise food for Food Share, and to come out on a Sunday and see the congregation, including the priests, coming in and working and cleaning vegetables for Food Share. And it also speaks to some of the innovation going on in our gardens. St. Mary's recently installed solar panels to give energy to their church. And among the solar panels, we have planted squash. And so we're using that space, and it's just really fun because we're seeing some really neat growing innovations. And that's another point of our Helena Community Gardens is these resources and tools, and we provide workshops, which are always listed on our website. We've got some really fun workshops coming up. One is square foot gardening. So this could be used whether you're a gardener in the community gardens or gardening in your own backyard. Sort of in a way to set your own beds up to grow efficiently.
I was at Hawthorne School. I don't know if this is one of your sites, but I saw kind of a fenced off area that had barrels, old wooden barrels. And I thought, I'm sure they're growing something in there. Maybe it's a school project, I'm not sure. But what you were saying about the relationship and sharing information. I had the privilege of kind of managing a community garden at the college I was talking about. And the folks who had a lot of experience never held back. They were always happy to share their skills and their understanding of, hey, I can't get rid of these weeds. Oh, here's why, and here's what you need to do to, just fantastic. I mean, it relationship building, good healthy food building. I mean,
right.
It's just a win-win
right.
across the board. I noticed that you have an exciting event planned with the Lewis and Clark Library on March 20th. What's that about? It's called a seed swap?
Oh,
Is
yeah.
That, yeah?
It's really fun. I'm so excited to share the seed swap with folks on March 20th from 2 to 4 p.m. at the Lewis and Clark Library. We've invited all of the community, and it's really wonderful to have these great community partners. The librarians at the Lewis and Clark Library have built some great book displays around this event. They're doing programs in women in agriculture. They're doing some really fun workshops just talking about soil health. But the seed swap is on the 20th. That's a Sunday from 2 to 4. And we will have donated seeds for the community. And it's so great because the Helena Community Gardens has a seed library that we bring to all of our events. We want to give these seeds to folks so they can grow in their own backyards or in their own garden plots. But the idea for the seed swap is some of our gardeners have these amazing seeds that they saved through the years. Maybe that they've, one of my favorite is a older gardener that saves her hollyhock seeds, and that's a beautiful flower, an old-fashioned flower to grow in your yard, and they're black hollyhocks. And so she will put them in little envelopes and bring them to set on the table to give, and then she takes seeds away that might be valuable to her. So we'll have the seed packets available for everyone to come and pick up some seeds. But we'll also give people the opportunity to ask questions. We'll have some master gardeners on hand. We'll have some worm composting demonstrations available. It's just sort of a fun community kickoff to the growing season. And it is really neat because you might not see the seeds that you need in the stores, and so this is an opportunity to get some of those. And I picked up some great parsnips last year, and I never would have grown parsnips in my plot, but they did so well, and I ended up storing them in a dry place, and we served them for Thanksgiving. And it just, again, it's that
cool.
from a prolific gardener to be able to share his parsnip seeds with us. And so I'm going to give this to the United Way. We've got some good gloves and some seeds that you can take. We know that you are always planting good things.
Well, it makes me wish we had some space at our place for a garden. I'm not sure we do, but we can do something.
Well, we are always looking. It's part of our mission is to build gardens. And, we see some areas, like you mentioned, Hawthorne School that had growing places. We're working with the faculty and staff at Ray Bjork. It's a school facility. They've had beds that have sort of been dormant over the years, and so they reached out to us as a resource. So we're going to be rebuilding those beds, getting them up to par. And, a lot of our school kids, if we're gardening in school, they're gone during most of the growing season. Right. So the Helena Community Gardens can provide support for them. So we're getting volunteers to care for those beds and sort of tying in some of the lessons for the preschool there at Ray Bjork, and also the Gifted and Talented program to return to in the fall. We are also partnering with St. Peter's. They have a new program up called Harvest of the Month, and it's a great statewide program that gives teachers and students curriculum on a vegetable once a month that they can learn that it grows well in Montana. And last fall, I got to work with a classroom from Central School at one of our gardens at St. Paul's Methodist Church. And these kids came in, and we got to take a cabbage, and we harvested the cabbages for food share. And they were so tickled because it was the harvest of the month that they had been studying through this curriculum. And so I mean, this is the outdoor classroom that is really meaningful, and it's, as you know, sometimes those students that might not do as well in the classroom, when they can come out and get dirty and really dig up get their hands on
and
it,
see what they've been talking about.
This is when they just really glow, and so it's really nice for us to be able to partner with our community partners like St. Peter's Hospital to be able to support those existing programs, so that we do have the vegetables that they'll be talking about through the year growing in our community.
Sure.
So
Sure.
that's a big thing for us.
That is fantastic. And as I think about the seed swap, I mean, the other great thing is we know that these are local seeds that we know they'll do well in our climate, and not from someplace else. And maybe they'll make it, maybe not. So great ideas. You mentioned your partners. Is there anything specific you're excited about growing this year?
Well, I will tell you, I really I'm very partial to root crops. I think they grow well in our climate. You put them in the ground and forget about them until October. And the rainbow carrots are I just love pulling those out, and kids love them because they're like candy.
Right.
And I love to share them with my neighbors. But I'll tell you what else. 10 years for a nonprofit to be here in Helena.
Pretty good.
This is a big year for us as an organization. I'm really hoping to grow our volunteer board to be able to support. We have some really neat potential partnerships to expand gardens, to even maybe create outdoor classrooms for Carroll College and our school kids here in Helena. We have our eyes on some really great things, so I'm really looking forward to growing our nonprofit Helena Community Gardens this
good.
year.
And please utilize Volunteer Helena. You know, if you need folks to get us some information, and especially as spring rolls around, folks are going to be thinking about, what can I do outside? And maybe you need help stirring up those beds or whatever.
We do.
Getting things ready.
We do. So that's that cross-pollination. We need it.
Exactly,
We're grateful for the support of the
Well,
United
listen,
Way.
We are excited to be a partner with you all.
Yeah.
Thank you for this gift. We'll put it to good use. Any last thoughts you want to share? This has been fantastic. Great information. It's got me excited about our little garden plot. So we'll grow some more good things together.
Sounds great.
Thank you for your time. Thank you for sharing this time with us. Look forward to seeing you next time.